All right, welcome to Rock Vegas, everybody. Big show today. It's not just me, not just Glenn Rockney. I do have from the Raiders Wire, expanding the box score, and somewhat new Tape Don't Lie podcast. Please check that out on YouTube. I just got done watching the third episode. I believe you guys are on, right? Is it, the third episode on Tanner Muse, and then the way the Raiders kind of blitz without blitzing. A lot of really good stuff, film breakdowns there with BD Williams, friend of the program here. So how you doing, man?
Doing good, bro. How about yourself, man? How about yourself?
I don't know. I was trying to keep up. I was doing well. I was like, cool, we got the roster trimmed down. And then third round pick, 80th overall out of University of Kentucky, Lynn Bowden Jr., someone that, you know, most Raider fans, at least those that follow the draft, follow the offseason program, we're all pretty excited and intrigued by what he was doing.
Yeah.
Traded to Miami. Traded to the Miami Dolphins. I don't know, man. I got nothing right now. It's crazy.
My initial thoughts is probably they didn't like him at running back. He probably came in and couldn't block. They couldn't do running back stuff. So they probably were like, okay, well, we don't like him at running back. And then what I've been seeing online since his big cut, I didn't know he was tweeting every day about how much he hates them.
It was vague. It wasn't like, it wasn't
looking back
like,
now.
Trade me. Yeah. It wasn't. No, it's definitely that. Now you got me wondering about Trent Brown. But he said, like, I know when I'm not wanted. And I mean, that could mean a lot of things. It could be a girl he's talking about. Like,
a girl but now we're looking at it like he probably which probably means to me that like he's probably getting some tough coaching. And like he probably was just like, it's just like when you get that bad review at the job, come back, you get on social media like, man, football supervisor.
I don't. Yeah. So they traded him, and what did they get back from a return? They got a fourth, right?
They gave up a sixth, and they got a fourth back.
They got a fourth back, and then you combine that with McMillan because it is the same team that you're trading with. Mm-hmm. And that was McMillan for a fifth. Is that a fifth?
They gave up a fourth.
They gave up a fourth. So they got the fourth back, basically.
Yeah.
Okay. Somehow this works out to be like a straight up trade. But I don't know, man. I just look, my whole thing was like, first off, like I've been saying this since the offseason, why he was never going to be a running back. Like, you know what I mean? I thought that was bullshit when they were talking about that, but I guess they really thought he was going to sit back there, pick up linebackers. A guy was playing quarterback last year. And, I just thought they were going to use him as a gadget player and then maybe returner as his first season. You know what I mean? Just only a returner and like you contribute that way.
Yeah.
They really thought he was going to be Jacobs' backup. That's insane. I was way off on that.
Yeah. I mean, if that was their idea, I thought that was crazy too. They said they were just going to play the Joker role, but I mean, that Joker role is not a running back role. So I thought they would have some kind of, plan. But to me, I think this is a pure character thing. Because I mean, even if he's not learning running back, I mean, he can return kicks.
Exactly. That's what I mean. Yeah, exactly. You don't trade him that fast. I'm wondering if that legal issue ended up getting something crazy because I'm not trying to question the guy's character that I don't know, but I know he did have like not a legal issue. He wasn't arrested or anything, but I'm just wondering, is there something brewing with him? Because there's no way you always give somebody at least like half a season. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like just something.
Because that's what I'm thinking. I mean, I don't know what the character issue is. I'm not going to get into that, but it's just in my mind. I'm like, okay, even if he can develop, I mean, he still can return kicks. It ain't like he's like bad in open field. I mean, I did see Tashawn Reed of the Athletics say that he didn't show the same explosiveness and that you would see on tape in camp. So that's what I'm saying. So I think it's a mixture of everything. He had a really, really bad camp, and then he's tweeting about stuff, and then it's just and they're no nonsense guys. I mean, me and I'll keep talking about podcasts, but me and BD we talk about that. We talk about that shit all the time, dude. Like, I mean, they like a certain type of guy.
Yeah,
and Raider fans have to get over that. Like, I mean, some teams will take a chance on another team on guys, and like, I mean, the Chiefs they got like Tyreek Hill and all that stuff, but the Raiders aren't going to do that. So it is what it is.
No, I see what you're saying. It's like I said, if even after like 1 year, if they were like, this ain't gonna work, like I could have seen that because that's a gamble you take on an explosive player, and you're like, because even BD had a great thread a long time ago about like, hey, this isn't gonna be a seamless transition for this guy. Like this isn't going to be. He isn't going to just be a running back. And then he was putting up all these guys that you forget like switched positions, and they're just kind of nothing in the NFL. And just back at back, he's like, look, maybe he's Antoine Randall. I don't know. Like maybe he has a nice career like that, but there's not a lot of history showing that like these guys end up being huge, big time players. He spent the 80th overall pick, which it's a day 2 pick, but nowadays like 3rd round, those guys play.
Yeah, those are locks usually.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Exactly. Like,
and I think that's and who knows if they weren't able to trade him. I don't know. Maybe they wouldn't have cut him. Maybe they just would have kept him. But maybe they felt like, let's see what we can get for him. And, they got some good value out of it. And
that's what scares me is that another team wants him though. That's what scares me more than anything. Of course. Yeah.
Because the Dolphins say they're gonna play him wide receiver. I don't know if you saw that.
That's kind of what I thought. I thought
you know what I mean? But that's my thing too. Is like, all right, so you thought he could play running back, right? Okay. Yeah. Damn, he can't play running back. I don't look at it, right? Let's back up, and we spent some value on him. Why don't we try him at wide receiver then?
Right.
Maybe we made that mistake. Let's try him at wide receiver. Let him return kicks. Let him develop that way, right? And but that's what I'm saying. It has to go back to something that we don't know about, because that would be the normal thought process. It's like, okay, he can't play running back, right? Just like Terrell Pryor. I mean, he can't play quarterback. They just moved him wide receiver, right? Yeah. You can't play running back. Let's go back to your natural position and see what you could do, and you let you return kicks in the meantime.
Yeah, I'm wondering maybe they tried it and he said, nah. You never know. Like, yeah, I mean, because maybe Miami's in for a rude awakening. I'm just wondering. I'm trying to figure it out because, like, again, getting rid of him this fast is crazy. Like, that's like it had to have been like maybe it's for 2 years in a row. Mayock got called a cracker. You don't know, but I'm just saying. Like, yeah. Then we start wondering, okay, what's Mayock saying? But no, it's nuts to me, man. Because like I was talking to you about it. Like, what this Mike Mayock thing is interesting, man. They're crowning him way too early in Raider Nation. Like it's so weird. We talked about it on here, but like free agency has been, I'll be nice and say it's been a mixed bag. And draft has been, look, there's been hits. Like without question, he's hit on picks better than Reggie McKenzie, in my opinion, like just especially with the draft position that they've had. But man, I just stuff like this kills me. And the way, giving away picks last year, day 3 picks, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. I don't know.
I will say this. I think more about what Mayock gets favored in the draft and why a lot of fans like him is because he sticks to the big schools too. So he sticks to SEC.
Yeah, you've heard of the guys he picks.
Most of his draft picks are all SEC guys or ACC guys.
Big time ACC, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean Clemson. He sticks to Clemson. I mean, then he went to Ohio State. Damon Arnett, Ohio State, you know what I mean? Then he went Henry Ruggs, Alabama, Clean Farrell, Mississippi State, Jen Abram, another Alabama, Josh Jacobs. Like a lot of it is that is a factor too into it. That's why fans kind of love his draft picks because he's not taking PJ Hall in the second. And that's not, it's not a sexy thing. You
get real ESPN footage highlights when you Google them.
Exactly. Nobody's searching.
It's not like you can't hear the wind on the camera in the background of the high school highlights that you have to watch of the, guys that like, you know what I mean? Like guys like Reggie used to draft. You'd be like, is this college that he's playing in? What is this?
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. It's like, he just doesn't, since he takes those high picks, the fans love it. They love the higher picks, the SEC guys. They love it. We know him. We know that guy. Yeah. Picking who we want. So that's why fans really love his draft picks, but it's still, we don't know yet. I mean, it hasn't been 3 years for any of these guys.
Especially GMs. GMs, you cannot grade after 1 year. Just there's ridiculous. You know what I mean? Because, coaches, you see it on the field sometimes. You're like, I don't know about this. You know what I mean? Or, oh, that's great. Like, you see what they do. But GM, it's pretty much the offseason and maybe some in-season moves. Like, you got to let that stuff go. And I don't know. People crowned Reggie McKenzie, too. There's a lot of revisionists. But
the NFL did though.
Yeah, they did. Executive of the year.
Yeah. The NFL cried Reggie McKenzie.
You're true.
They crowned him.
I bought in. I was like, hey, it's cool. You know what I mean? Like,
and Reggie wasn't bad in the first round. Reggie was a good first round.
No, except for DJ. That was it. DJ was his first time, and that was a shitty draft anyways. There was only like a couple good picks you could have done. I think it was Hopkins, but he went later too. So it's that was a tough draft. But yeah, you're right. Reggie McKenzie usually hit the second round is when things got wild with him. Yeah, but man, it's crazy. So we're waiting on the final roster. It would have been a real shame if the Raiders followed suit and released
did what every other team did. Yeah, and released it on time. You know what I mean? But that's not happening.
So I don't know. Do you expect any? So let's go to this. Do you expect any moves? I'm reading right now that Booker is like the guy at backup running back. They love Booker.
Yeah, it seems like Booker made the team. My boy Levi Damien broke that he made the team. So Booker made the team. And I think fans are a little lower on Booker than normal, but I think he has some ability to be a decent backup. Sure. I mean, I know he can run outside zone too, so he's his own back. Yeah. So I mean, they do that a lot at Utah and where he comes from. So
he was great at Utah. I loved him at Utah. When he got to Denver, I was like, what the hell is this?
Yeah, but fans want that big power back, but I don't know if that's ever going to happen with Tom Cable. So. And I think that's why they like Devontae, because, like I said, Devontae could actually run what Josh Jacobs runs. But I think that what they need to do is just get Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs needs to work on his power runs, and if he should be the guy scoring touchdowns. So I don't,
it's true.
Let Devontae spell him in the middle of the field, but the guy who should be scoring touchdowns and who needs to get better in his power runs is Josh Jacobs.
24th overall pick, man.
Yeah. So I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, he's the one that should be carrying the load in the red zone.
Sure. So. You're right. And so, like I said, a lot of people, I made a joke today and nobody got it apparently, but I made a joke today saying all these guys the Raiders should bring in, like, because obviously it's not going to happen. They're not going to get Clowney. I'm saying it right now. They're not getting Clowney. They're not getting I don't know who else. Like I don't think they're signing Adrian Peterson.
No. I mean, which that would be the power guy, but I mean, you have Josh Jacobs, man. Why are you getting AP? Like that's what I'm saying. Like, AP is not a spell guy to me. I feel like AP might take Jacobs' job a little bit. Like, you might get too happy. Not that he'd take his job. Okay, let me back up. I'm not gonna say that.
AP sorry, episode's over. Yeah, you don't get a chance. No, sorry.
I'm not gonna say that. Yeah. What I'm saying is that, like, you might get too happy with it. Like, you might just, you might start feeding AP a little bit too much because he's AP.
And then Gruden gets excited, like, this guy's almost 40. Oh my God, I love it. Like,
it's just too many reps. That's why I like Jason Witten there. I just feel like
he's Dr. Frankenstein with running backs, dude. Like,
I know.
John Gruden, I think, gets off on, like, I can make this guy, like, even with Jake Plummer as a quarterback, he had to recruit him off his couch. Like, he loves that, like, story, that redemption story. So I get why people might associate Adrian Peterson with the Raiders. Like, I kind of thought of it at first, but then I was like, nah, that's not gonna happen.
I hope they don't do that, because that's what I'm saying. Like, I think Jacobs needs his carries,
sure, and receptions,
and his receptions. I think he needs a little more volume. So I could see what the Raiders are doing. I mean, I think a lot of fans don't like it, but if they want Jacobs to get more catches and be more involved, and maybe he's blocking better at camp. I mean, we haven't heard really
why wouldn't
anything.
Yeah, why wouldn't he? It seems like a natural improvement he would make.
Yeah, right. And then we know he's a good receiver, so they might have some kind of plan for him to use him more. Yeah. So, I mean, so the Bowden thing, it's shocking, but maybe Jacobs is showing more than we know, too.
Yeah, no, I think you're right, and like I said, I bet you something's going to come out eventually about what really went down. So we could be completely off about what happened, and look, maybe even Miami's like 2 weeks later is like, yep, no, this ain't. Yeah, you guys were right. We cut him too. Like maybe that happens too. So this happened an hour ago for anybody, because this is going to come out a little later. So like this happened an hour ago. So you got to realize I'm a little, if you guys listen to my draft reactions, like you guys got to realize I might get a little spicy sometimes. But
exactly.
Anyways, so again, we don't have the final roster yet, not in front of us. I thought we would, but what do you got? I brought you on here originally to talk about the AFC West. Right?
Yes.
Get away. Again, I think I counted, I got like 18 episodes, all just talking about the Raiders. So, like, that's what this is about. But let's talk about the opponents that we're going to play twice a year.
Yes.
So, what do you think of the division overall, just before we get into this? Just like, is it a tough division? Is it really that tough?
I mean, besides the Chiefs, I don't think so. I think it's a lot of mediocre teams. That's why I think overall, I think the Raiders have to, if they could take care of business against the Broncos and the Chargers, I think that should be more of the focus. I think that, the Chiefs are the Chiefs. If they can still win from the Chiefs, that's awesome. I'd be happy for them. That would be perfect.
Sweep one of them, split the other one. Whatever happens against the Chiefs happens.
Yeah, or sweep the other two.
Hell yeah, then, that's what I really want.
Because with the whole division, I know people, we always joke around about how winning at Arrowhead is. The Raiders went 3-13 next year, and they won at Arrowhead. Yeah, nobody would care.
Where's the lie?
Right? Nobody would care, right? But I think if the Raiders, they struggle, they're going to struggle against the Chiefs for the next 10 years or whatever, as long as Patrick Mahomes is there, and as long as they can focus and beat the other teams. They still could maybe sneak out a division championship or something like that just by beating everybody else and beating the other teams in front of them. And even if they keep losing the Chiefs, like if Derek Carr never wins at Arrowhead and they win 2 divisions, like nobody cares, right? So
yeah.
The Chiefs are always going to be tough, and if they can split one with the Chiefs, that's awesome, right? That's great. But I think the Broncos and the Chargers are not that as scary as people try to assume. I think the Broncos they're very beatable.
Well, let's start with them. Let's start with Denver. So before you get too far into them, so Denver, they add a bunch of like talent around Drew Lock in the skill positions.
Yeah.
It was Judy, right? They got Judy. That's going to be the Ruggs versus Judy thing is going to be a thing, especially when you're in the division. They already spent high draft pick on a tight end the year before. So what else is it really? Because look, PFF, you and I, we talk about PFF all the time, but PFF, like they love Denver, but I don't know. I'm having a tough time seeing it.
I think Denver has talent. They have a lot of talent. They do. They have a lot of talent around Drew Lock, but it's young talent too. Their line's probably gonna be better this year. Garrett Bowles is still not over there, so he's not good. But Dalton Reisner is. He's really good. Yeah, he's a really good lineman. So their line's gonna be it's gonna be better. It's gonna be better.
Somebody opted out too. Somebody opted out, right? Was it Juwan Jennings?
Yes, that was exactly.
Yeah,
no, Juwan. He's a left tackle.
Not Juwan Jennings. Yeah, I know. Juwan James. That's his name.
Juwan Jennings. He plays for the Niners.
He just got cut. Well, not anymore. Yeah, but
Oh, he's got cut?
I think he got cut. Yeah, that was why that name was fresh in my head. Yeah, no.
Because their team released their releases on time. I see that, right?
Yeah. They're doing their podcasts at 1:30 in the afternoon. Yeah, must be nice, Niner fan.
Yeah, so, what was I saying?
You did the O-line. Yeah, the O-line.
Oh, yeah, the O-line. So the O-line, the O-line will be better, right? They're not going to be the greatest O-line. They're beatable. They're a beatable O-line, right? At running back, they got Gordon. They still got Freeman over there, and they got Lindsey. So running back, they're pretty good at running back. They're pretty good there. Outside, they got KJ Hamler. They got Jerry Jeudy now. They got Cortland Sutton. They got Tim Patrick. He's not bad. He's not a bad guy.
He's good. Yeah.
So, there's a lot for their offense, right? There's a lot. But they still got a new offensive coordinator. Okay, so you got to remember that. So Drew Lock is learning a brand new offense again. He doesn't have the same offensive coordinator he had the year before. He has a brand new one. So he's going into this offseason basically without OTAs or anything like that, learning the offense. He just basically has been running the offense through camp, and this is his first time running the offense. Right. In a game will be week 1, right? So, offensively, they're going to be young. And they're going to be a little raw. So I don't know, maybe later on in the season they might be better. But, it's all if you believe in Drew Lock, too.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Yeah, that's the thing.
And I think Drew Lock is I think he's going to be a competent quarterback. I don't see him being an elite quarterback. Right? So if he's a competent quarterback, right, he's going to need time to grow with those young guys. So maybe next year I could see a little bit more of a threat with them, but I still think Drew has a little bit of way to go. I still see them as he's like a 7-9 guy at this point. I don't see him like leading them to 11-5 or being like a winner just because he had that 5-game sample. And that gets people hyped because he went 4-1, but it's going to be a little different for them. So they're not that terrifying. I don't think they're scary. I think they're talented. Yeah, they got talent. and they'll grow with that talent, but they're still young. And Drew, he's only played 5 games. He hasn't seen that many NFL defenses. He hasn't seen somebody try to stop him yet. That's actually like
game planning,
good game planning. I mean, even against the Raiders defense last year, he really didn't do anything. I mean, there's nothing you can remember like, oh my God, there's Drew Lock.
It was bad offense all around. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like they shouldn't even won that game. They shouldn't even been in it, right?
Because not at all.
So especially how much yards the Raiders put up. So it's things like that. Like they're not really that terrifying to me. I think defensively.
Yeah, defensively, yeah.
Defense, they're pretty good. They're pretty good on defense. Von Miller. We don't know how. We'll find out a little bit how COVID affects people with Von Miller.
Good point. Yeah, he did have it pretty rough too. Actually,
pretty rough too. So you don't hear reports, but playing
for an all-world athlete, he had it pretty rough. Yeah,
you know what I mean. He did have asthma too. He has asthma, so but that's what I'm saying. We'll see how that affects him. They're getting shoved back. They added Jarrell Casey, so that's a big one. Justin Simmons. Nice. They have a good defense, but they really have mostly the same defensive guys that are there last year are there this year. Right. And, besides Casey, which he's going to bring some more inside, but you got to think, the Titans let him go for a reason. He's not the same guy as he was, but he's still a good player. Right. And, they got Von Miller over there. They just released Todd Davis. So, their linebackers core is kind of weak. Right. They're not that good linebacker. They got Julie Giselle or something like that and some other guy there.
Oh, the guy from Iowa. That's right. Yeah.
You're not scaring anybody. No. Right. And they brought AJ Aboye for corner, but he could be beat. There's nothing really scary about this team for like the Raiders to be like, oh my God, they're going to beat the Raiders twice, right? But I do, one thing I will say is that Carr also plays really good against Vic Fangio. If you ever look at his history against Vic Fangio, I don't even think he's thrown a pick against him. I think
he played against the Niners, right? They played it when he was on the Niners. They played that against Kaepernick. It was Carr versus Kaepernick. I remember that. Yeah. Good point.
And played well. The only interception he's thrown against Vic Fangio defense is the one that bounced off Latavius Murray's chest in 2015. But besides that, he's played pretty good. He has a good passer rating against Vic Fangio. Even against the game last year, he threw almost 400 yards against him in the last game. And the first game was one of his best performances he had all year. So obviously, Carr does pretty good against Vic Fangio. I don't know what it is. But it's his whole career he has. It doesn't matter who the offensive coordinator is. From Musgrave and from Olsen and now Gruden, he's been successful. So that's why I don't see I think the Raiders will always be pretty good against the Broncos at moving the football. So I think they could beat them twice. They might not, but I could see that.
Let's get some Isaac Yadam on Darren Waller too. Let's see how if that happens.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
killing him.
Yeah, and unless they start getting some pressure, unless Von Miller and Bradley Chubb just have incredible seasons, but that's what the Raiders have their offensive line for, and that's what they put it in. So, we'll see there.
Yeah, exactly. So, real quick before we go on to the Chargers, where are you on the Trent Brown situation? What's your take on that? The Trent Brown.
I think he's hurt.
Do you?
They don't want to admit it.
Like how bad? Like bad?
We don't know. We'll find out on Wednesday.
Good point. Yeah,
he's obviously hurt, man. Just something wrong there.
There's going to be at least a Q. Yeah, there's definitely going to be at least a Q next to his name for sure.
Some people say he came in out of shape or something like that, but I don't know about that. I don't know.
He was like jumping over damn shit in his home gym or whatever. He was doing like Tony Hawk moves in his home gym. Maybe that's why. But no, I was being an optimist for once, but I was being an optimist about just like they were bubble wrapping him because it's like if he goes down, like this offensive line goes from great to, like fast.
Yeah.
So
real fast.
I don't know. Yeah, Sam Young had a great camp. I don't wish to see Sam Young out there.
Yeah, I don't want to see Sam Young against Von Miller because if Sam Young's playing against Von Miller, I just take my whole take back because that was a different game.
Barbecue. Yeah.
But if it's Trent Brown, bro, we're all right.
Yeah, exactly. No, he's shown he can go up against the best. Like it's there's no question. So, so next up, we got the LA Chargers, the Hard Knocks team, new stadium. We got a new stadium. They got a new stadium. They have a lot of changes, especially at quarterback, right? No Rivers this year.
No Rivers.
Again, also off-season darlings. Everybody seems to love them. This is the year they put it all together. Where are you at with them right now?
I think the Chargers are probably going to be the lowest team in this division. I mean, I think that's pretty easy to see that they'll be the last team in this division. I mean, even from watching Hard Knocks, they have talent on defense. I mean, they have a lot of talent on defense, but offensively, I don't see it. I mean, Mike Williams, he's already hurt.
Derwin James.
Yeah. Derwin James is out, right? But I mean, they have like Desmond King. I mean, their defense is fine. I mean, I'm not really gonna talk about the defense. They're pretty good at every level on the defense. Corners, they got good corners. They got great line. They got, they're good against the run and all that stuff. But I mean, they do play that stupid Seattle cover 3. So I'm not. Yeah. That's why that. Can they beat you? Yes, but I mean, they're easy to game plan for them. They're not a crazy team that you can't come in there and have a good game plan and pick them apart. I mean, the Raiders have been pretty good against them. Well, last year they were. I mean, the year before they weren't, when the Chargers were actually good. But
right,
that defense, since it's so simple and it's nothing, it's not going to try to trick you and do anything crazy, and they're pretty just bland. That Seattle Gus Pete Carroll cover 3. We're going to play cover 3. What are you going to do about it? You know what I mean? It's nothing that you can't beat if you have a good game plan. Right.
Yeah. I hope they never figure that out. Yeah, because I got talent.
You know what I mean? Like if they try to get creative, but they got Gus Bradley over there. So I mean, we know what they're gonna do when they come out. So that's the thing with them, and they don't have Earl Thomas, and I mean, Casey Hayward's awesome too. He's one of the best top corner in the NFL, right? But they don't have Earl Thomas back there playing free safety either. So it's easy for the Raiders to move the ball on them. That's basically what I would say. The offense, on the other hand, I mean, they got Keenan Allen. I mean, I know Hunter Henry's still there and all those other guys, but
for now, yeah,
for now.
I can't remember the last time I watched him play. Honestly, I'm like, what? Guy's never on the field.
I mean, they got Austin Eckler over there. I mean, they just are they're not set up to be very good. Right. I mean, They want to play Justin Herbert, but offensively, they're definitely not going to scare anybody offensively. They're not going to do. I mean, what is Tyrod Taylor going to do with a lot of those guys? I mean, he's be able to lean on Keenan Allen, maybe Hunter Henry, but he himself, he's a very conservative guy. He's not going to take a lot of chances. So he's more of like, he's basically kind of a poor man's Derek Carr with legs. So if you don't think Derek Carr's going to take chances, Tyrod Taylor's definitely not going to take that chance. So. I mean, that's his whole knock in Buffalo. That's why the Buffalo fans don't like him, which I don't understand that. I mean, they never won, but I mean.
Yeah, I don't. That seems a bit rough, and possibly other factors going into that. But I don't know. Hey, it's pretty far up there in New York. It's a bit different. But,
a little different, right? Yeah. We won't talk about that. But
Saint the Jets, Saint the Giants. Yeah, but no, I see what you're saying. The funny thing, were you high on Herbert coming out or no?
Not high on him. I mean, I gave him a second round grade. I wouldn't take him in the top 10. I'll tell you that. Mm-mm. No. He's got a lot of work, bro. He's got a lot of work. He got to work on his mechanics. He's got to work on that's the main thing. He just has some ugly mechanics. Not that accurate with football. He makes some tough decisions too, but I mean, he has a cannon and he's athletic though.
He is. He can run, man. He can move.
Yeah, he's very athletic. He has a cannon. So I mean, a lot of those things they factor in. So I mean, you can take a chance on him, and he's not a dumb quarterback. So since he's not a dumb quarterback and he ran that offense pretty well, I think you could have some confidence in him learning an offense and all that stuff. But like, you'd have to fix himself. Like his mechanics are just so bad. They're just.
It looks weird. It looks weird coming out of his hand.
Yeah, and then his feet are bad. Like,
and he kind of stops his throw kind of right here. Like he doesn't really let it rip. It doesn't look pretty. It's weird. It's so weird.
And he's bad under pressure. That's one thing you got to point out.
He had an incredible offensive line at Oregon too, and he does not have one right now.
Yeah, that comes into factor because a lot of people they get mad at me. I talk about Kyler Murray, and I talk about how jittery the pocket is, and how that's not a good thing. But I mean. Well, yeah, his offensive line was bad. We're like, well, yeah, I mean, but there's a lot of guys with bad offensive lines that just don't, start seeing ghosts and just start running around in circles, or just start throwing the ball away. You know what I mean? Like you got to be able to feel the pressure too, and just kind of, avoid it, or, get the ball out, or don't just freak out. You know what I mean? But that's something like Justin Herbert does too. But it's mostly because he's probably never really had pressure his whole life.
Yeah. No, makes sense.
Yeah.
That's good. So, and do you expect to see him? You expect to see him sometime this year, right? Though
yeah.
I don't think Tyrod ain't holding it down.
That team, they're not going to be good at all. I don't think that team's going to be good at all.
No,
I don't see anything that makes me think they are going to be good. I mean, how much did they really get better from last year? I don't think they got better that much. They had a Chris Harrison, man, that's cool, but then they lost Derwin James, so that kind of just got that out, right? And then, I mean, like I said, they play that same bland cover 3, so they didn't change coordinators, right? They're gonna be running the same offense. I mean, they're gonna run more with Tyrod Taylor, do a little more option. I don't see it with that team. That team is just not. I don't think it'd be very good. A lot of people talk about who's gonna be, the Jags gonna be number 1 pick, and I'm kind of looking at the Chargers maybe.
Get Herbert's left tackle from Oregon. Get him that guy back. That's probably what they'd do. But yeah. But no, that's crazy because I was like really relieved when they took Justin Herbert. I was like, I didn't want them to get like, I'm trying to think of who would have been on the board there, like Javon Kinlaw or something, like just somebody like, damn, like this defense just got crazier, you know what I mean? Or even like another wide receiver, you know what I mean? If they dipped into wide receiver early, I would have been like, man, they took a quarterback I think is going to take some time, and who knows if it ever happens, because I don't know. To me, I'm just going to go ahead and call Justin Herbert Jake Locker for now. Book it, Charger fans. He's Jake Locker. He's Jake Locker. Yeah, that's what they breed up there, up northwest. But
Jake Locker's messed up, bro.
Yeah, I'm telling you. You know what? I'm coming in hot. I got Charger hate today. I think you're right. I think they're going to be bad, and I think Justin Herbert is not very good. So that's where we're at.
I do think they're going to be bad. I don't see any possible way that they're going to be good or shock people. And I think Anthony Lynn's a good coach, but I could see him like getting fired this year just because, they'll blame him, even though they got rid of Phillip Rivers, because even if they win another year with Phillip Rivers, I'd be like, okay, maybe 8, 9, and 7, maybe they'll charge. But like going with Tyrod Taylor, he's done. He lost his job to Baker Mayfield. So he can keep that job. Right. And, the weapons on that team weren't that bad. And, it was better surroundings. I mean, he didn't have Keenan Allen, but, he should have kept that job a little longer if he was at a position to be actual NFL starter still.
You're right.
You'd figured he'd keep that job. And I know he got hurt and all that stuff, but, he wasn't really showing anything before that. Mm-hmm. So I just don't think he's the same guy at all either. I think he's a little old, and he doesn't ever had a big arm, like a big, a rocket arm. Yeah, there's nothing really scary about that team.
No, it's crazy because I do think it's weird. I oddly think like because what did they bring in on offensive line? I brought in like Trey Turner, and on the Chargers, I believe they brought in like Trey Turner, and I was like, okay, all right. What's his name? Pipkins. If he's out there again, boy, like you made Furl and Crosby.
They have no depth, bro. Like somebody gets hurt. I mean, especially on offense. I mean.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, because that defense is kind of scary. Chris Harris is kind of a Raider killer. Like I'll say it right here. Like he's definitely. Everyone remembers the Blue Angels interception. Everyone remembers that one. Definitely, that's all it was. And I don't know. I'm the same way with you. I think we're in agreement. I think the Broncos. Maybe the Broncos could like be suddenly an 8-8 team this year. Like I could see that happening with their talent. With the Chargers, I think they're sub 500. I'm with you. Like I don't, especially without Derwin James, because that was to me what was like, whoa, like okay, Derwin this year could be like defensive player of the year. You know what I mean? Like he could be like that. He's that type of talent, but they're unlucky with the injuries.
Yeah, I see. This is what I'm saying. I'm honest. I see like 4-12 with the Chargers because I think they're gonna have to play Herbert eventually, and they're going to be not be. I mean, who knows what he's going to look like? So
yeah, you're right. Well, the elephant in the room, the team that basically you've said the Raiders technically don't have to beat them, and I think you're right too. Right, record wise, we don't.
Let's just avoid that.
2016, we did not. So I mean, when the Raiders got to the playoffs, they didn't beat the Chiefs in 2016. It did happen. You know what I mean? So, but how do you do it? How do you beat the Chiefs?
How do you beat the Chiefs? You got to outscore them. I mean, that's really
just drag race them. Yeah,
unless you get lucky like the Colts and they don't have like Travis Kelce and Sammy Watkins. Not Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill Sammy Watkins, and he has to throw to Demarcus Robinson, and you could just compress those guys.
Oh, God, that didn't work. Demarcus Robinson was
he didn't work for the Raiders last year, but I'm just saying. I'm trying to think. I mean, to beat the Chiefs, you have to be able to run the football because they don't care about stopping the run. They think that's irrelevant. Like, okay, you're gonna have to pass eventually on us. So exactly. What we're gonna do? you can't just run the ball on us, right? Because that's the Niners strategy. The Niners they thought, okay, we could stop Patrick Mahomes, rush forward, confuse him, do some different looks, and then how good our front four is. We're gonna get pressure anyways, and then force Mahomes to leave the pocket early, and do that, and we'll just run the football on the backside. Yeah, it worked. It worked for like 3.5 quarters, and then eventually Patrick Mahomes took 20 steps back and he threw the ball 70 yards in the air, and then it was 17-20, and then you tried to run the ball and you got stopped, and then it's 24-20, and then you got to pass, and then that's all they're built. So I mean, that's the thing, but running the football against the Chiefs will always be a problem because of how fast they can score. Right? So
you're helping them almost. Yeah,
you're helping them a little bit because they're going to score really fast and they can score in bunches. So I mean, it's there's really no way to beat Patrick Mahomes. There's really no. I don't think he's never really had a bad game. I don't know if you're into ESPN QBR.
Sure.
The ESPN QBR metric, the average is 50, right?
Wow.
It's for an average game. He's never been under 50.
Shit.
Ever. He's never. I think his lowest game was like 54.
That system's rigged. I don't like it anymore. I don't like it.
Right.
I don't like
so
it.
He's technically never played a bad football game.
Damn.
I think the worst game we saw him play was the game he won Super Bowl MVP. That was the worst game he's ever played. Right. That's probably the worst I've ever seen him. That's honestly.
Damian Williams deserved MVP anyways.
I sure, but I get it. But
yeah.
But that's the worst game he ever played, and everybody's still talking, oh my God, he's so incredible. And that's the worst game he seriously ever played. And that's the scary part. That's why I hate talking about him because he's not going to play bad against us. So I don't know how do you stop him knowing that he's going to come up and he's probably going to put up 35. So the Raiders you got to outscore them, and then hopefully you get some stops, right? But the Chiefs' defense is built that if what they decided, because after 2018, right, that was the best formula is to outscore them, and you could because their defense was so bad.
Terrible.
Right? It was terrible, and then Mahomes. What Mahomes would do is he would press, right? He would start pressing because he knew that if he didn't score, that they were to let up a score, right? So he would start pressing. He'd do more picks in 2018 because of it, but he also threw more yards. He'd do more touchdowns because of it too. And last year, he was able to relax a little bit. He didn't throw as many touchdowns. He didn't throw as many picks because the pass defense is so much better. So when he striked, another team had to answer, the pass defense was able to stop it.
Yeah.
Right?
Two great rushers. They got good safeties.
Yeah.
I mean,
their corners are all right. Their corners can be beat, but Tyrann Mathieu and all them, they have good game plans and they're able to stop the pass, and that's their whole main goal because they know that if they stop the pass, that you're not gonna be able to get in a shootout with them because they can stop you, and that's what happens to a lot of teams too. You get to the point where, because even you go back to the last year with the Raiders and Arrowhead, the Raiders were running all over them, right? But if they stopped it and they had to pass, there was nobody open for Carr or anything for him to do. So it's how they're built. They're built to stop the pass, and they're built to be like, okay, we know we're going to score 28 points. The best way for the other team to score 28 points is by passing the ball. So we're going to stop the pass.
It's a good point. It's like Golden State Warriors, you know what I mean? Like shoot the three, stop the three. You know what I mean? Like perimeter defense and shoot it. You know what I mean? It's like don't try to stop this on the other side. Just stop the three from happening. You shoot the three. They throw the deep ball. They stop the deep ball from happening. Like
exactly.
It's crazy. I think you're exactly right. Now I will say, and maybe I'm completely wrong, but the Raiders last year defensively, it was bad. It wasn't good, but I'm saying like it wasn't the shit show I thought it was. Like the way they played him. Like, you know what I mean? Look, they had that second quarter in Oakland where they just went crazy, Demarcus Robinson, all that kind of stuff. But I was like, damn, I was expecting him to put up 50 on us. Like, you know what I mean? And thought they did like an okay. I was still more disappointed in what the offense did against the Chiefs.
Yeah.
which seems weird because you think like Patrick Mahomes, Raiders defense, you're just like, nah, this is going to be a bloodbath, 6 touchdowns or something like that. So I don't know. Maybe there's something. Maybe there's something with improved coverage in the linebackers. You think there's something they could do to maybe just stop Mahomes? Not stop him, but
I think Paul Gunther last year had 2 good game plans against him. He did some good stuff. It all depends on. Trayvon Mullen gets better. He did really well against Tyreek Hill last year in man-to-man. If he gets better, if David Arnett gets better too, it allows Gunther to be more flexible with his game plan against Mahomes. But those guys got to get home too. Like they can't, because that's what happened in the second quarter. You can't give Mahomes that much time if they're not getting home. And you know what I'm saying? Like, and that's what I'm talking about. Like with Max Crosby, he's got to be able to beat Mitchell Schwartz. Mitchell Schwartz is one of the best tackles in the NFL. And if he lines up.
His brother reminds us. Yeah, his brother reminds us every day on Twitter. Jeff. But right.
He's basically Darren Carr for
yes.
My brother never made the Pro Bowl. But
there's got to be a third one. There's got to be a third one. Is there a third Schwartz, like a guy that sells insurance? And yeah, but he's the one that going off with the burner accounts and stuff like that. Yeah. No, anyway.
That's what I'm saying. But like, Crosby. Even though Mitchell Schwartz is still one of the best right tackles in the NFL, and Crosby, he's got to be able to beat him to beat Mahomes too. He's got to. If you can't beat him, then they're in trouble with Mahomes. They're going to be in big trouble. Eric Fisher on the side, he's very beatable, but that's not the side Max Crosby lines up on. And the Raiders are super traditional. Like they're not going to really flip him. They'll flip him sometimes, and they'll do that, but most of the time, Max Crosby's coming off the right, and then Cleveland Farrell's coming off the. Max Crosby's coming off the left. Right.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Left, and then Cleveland Farrell's coming off the right. And Schwartz is going to be there on the right side. He's got to be able to beat that guy. But that's what I'm saying. It's things like that for to be great teams. You got to have to be great players. These guys got to become great players too. Like they got to, they got to win those one-on-ones against Mitchell Schwartz, right? To get pressure and force Mahomes to get out of the pocket. But you force Mahomes to get out of the pocket, who knows what's going to happen? And that's my thing. It's Mahomes is not going to play bad against us. He's not going to play bad all year. It's more about it. Is the Chiefs defense going to be good against the pass like they were last year, or are they going to be the team in 2018? Right. That's what it's more about with the Chiefs, because Mahomes is going to get his. He's not going to play bad. There's really nothing you could do about it.
No.
It is what it is. But
yeah,
that offense is super explosive. Everybody knows who's on that offense. There's really nothing to go over. Andy Reid's a genius. He basically runs a college football offense basically at this point. They're tremendous over there. But
yeah,
it's more about like, is that defense, and PFF always talks about defense, doesn't go over year to year. Is that defense going to be as good as they were against the pass last year as they are this year? And who knows, man?
No guarantee.
There's no guarantee there. And if that happens, then and then that will force Mahomes to start pressing. And who knows if Mahomes starts throwing more picks? Because I will say this: I might get canceled after this. I'm gonna say this.
Oh yeah, sure, that's fine. This podcast got canceled a long time ago.
Okay.
Yeah, you're fine.
I think Mahomes has a 20 interception season.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see that, because he's a psycho. Right, yeah. And psychos could just have that season where it doesn't, where he throws it right at Neville Lawson instead of him bouncing it off his chest. He catches it, because that happens a lot. That happens a lot to Patrick. I don't care. It does. Sometimes he just does some reckless stuff. Yeah. And if the team is not as good, let's say they have injuries, and the team is not as good and all that stuff, right? Then he's gonna start pressing, because he's gonna feel like, okay, I got to do more. He's gonna start pressing. He's gonna start throwing some more interceptions, right? So he has it's back there. It's in there. It's in him. He threw 12 the first year because of that. 12 is not a lot, but in today's NFL, it kind of is.
Yeah,
it is a little bit. He shouldn't be in the 20s. At least 17 in today's NFL is a lot. You throw 17, you're like, that's like throwing 25 in the 80s.
Oh damn, yeah.
If you think about it, there's not really that many guys who hit 17 anymore. Right. throwing 17 and picks. I mean, because most of the time guys do picks back in the day is because on 3rd and 14, teams would actually try to get to 14, and now these days they'll just like do a little quick screen and just punt.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Play the long game. Yeah,
play the long game. But back to what I'm saying, I think Patrick Mahomes has that. He has that in him. Where if they don't play as good a defense, he's gonna start pressing, and then once he starts pressing, he might start making some more mistakes, and they might start not go 12-4. They might go 10-6. I'm not gonna go anything below that, but
no,
that possibility is there. The possibility is there that they just aren't this dominant dynasty for the longest. The offense might be dominant, but I mean the defense might blow them some games because they're not as good or can't hold up their end of the bargain. So that's basically what you got to count on. Patrick Mahomes going to show up. Is the defense going to show up for the Raiders to be able to move the ball on them?
Okay, so last question on the Chiefs, and I got to ask you because I know if I didn't, I'd get a couple comments saying, why the hell did you talk about Derek Carr in this situation, right? Like a real – that's all anybody really cares about Raiders versus Chiefs. I don't think they care about the defense against Patrick Mahomes, honestly. I don't think most people are like – they kind of chalk that up as an L. You know what I mean? Like the defense against them. So – do you see a scenario where Derek Carr gets over the Arrowhead curse this year? Not even winning, playing well.
Playing well in the Arrowhead? No, I don't see it.
Damn it. Yeah, because you're the guy. I think you make the best case for Carr. Like I do. I think you do. I think you've even turned me into like I used to be like the people that are like man, fuck this guy. I used to be that guy, but now I'm just like, all right, man, this is it. Like this is the year.
There's something wrong there in his head there. That's mental. I don't know what to tell you. Like, I think they could beat them here. I think they could beat them in Las Vegas. Oh, for sure. But in Arrowhead, I don't know. Maybe the no fans might help. Maybe the no fans this year. Because I really think it might be the whole atmosphere. And it's the atmosphere and it's freezing. It might not be freezing this year.
I think they play them earlier.
Exactly.
Earlier at Arrowhead. Yeah.
Exactly. Because it's usually late in the season. It's usually a big game. It's usually like because I think in 2017 they were tied for the division when
Spider Wire no.
No, that's 2016, which they were playing for the division.
Oh yeah,
at that point, and it was freezing, and then the car's like finger like was stiff. It was because he already broke his finger, and he couldn't catch the snap.
Right after the Carolina game,
he's playing with one hand. So I'm saying, so it's usually there's so much more around that game usually because even if you hate their car, whatever. Usually if the team has a decent team around him, they're like 6-6 or something going into like December usually, right? Most of the time, like even like 2015 2000, even last year they're 6-6 going into like the final games, whatever, right? But and then they have to play the Chiefs during that time, and it's a huge game, right? So maybe this year, since it won't be like such a dramatic game and so early in the season, maybe he'll be more relaxed, won't have as much pressure on him, might feel like that he has to win that game in Arrowhead. If he doesn't win this game in Arrowhead, then they're gonna lose the division. Like maybe that might relax him a little bit. But I think it's the big game mentality, and then the fans in Arrowhead, and it's freezing cold, and John Gruden's calling the same play that he called all year. And Tyrann Mathieu knows he's coming, and then he throws a pick, and then
there's no fans, so he hears Tyrann Mathieu say it out loud. He hears it.
Tyrann Mathieu's like, they're running the sale.
Yeah. Derek, I know what that shit is, and I'm coming. Yeah, like he hears it because there's no fans. Oh, damn it. Might be worse. You gotta just go through it. Look, we have no idea. It's an unprecedented year in the NFL. We have no idea. Like this would be crazy. Like,
so maybe I might be wrong. I might be wrong about that, but I just still I don't see it. I don't think that's gonna happen. I think it's a mental thing, and sometimes a team, especially in your division, just knows how to play you, and then because they play him a certain way. Like one thing that you'll notice about Derek. That a lot of teams that never played him, and what I think a lot of fans, if they did play him, is they blitz him, right? Like a lot of fans, they think he just can't handle any type of pressure. He's very, very damn good against the blitz. It's probably his best thing that he does is against the blitz. You'll never see the Chiefs blitz Derek Carr. They'll never do it. And the reason why is because they know, because they've been playing him. I mean, you rarely see any of I think Vic Fangio does, because that's just I don't know. I don't know why he thinks he can blitz Derek. Like, don't blitz Derek. Just drop back, bro. Yeah. Rush 4. If you get pressure with 4, he's gonna feel it more than the blitz. You blitz him, he's just gonna chop you up, right? So, that's why the Chiefs, they have that on him. And then, like, anybody that played him before that knows how to defend him, they don't blitz him. Or, like, we'll say in the first half, like the Titans or teams like that, when the Raiders have really good first half, the teams are just coming after them, right? And Derek Carr just blitz, it tears you apart. And then in the second half, they just drop back and they don't blitz anymore. And they stop. And they just play zone. And it looks a whole lot different.
You're right.
And that's what the Chiefs do. So a lot of it is that the Chiefs. Andy Reid's going to go. Andy Reid, I mean, he's a head coach. He might tell Steve Spagnuolo, okay, we've been playing Derek for this long. If you do this against Derek, then he's going to do this, right? Yeah. And, that's a lot of it's that. It really is. A lot of it is Andy Reid, and they've been playing Derek for the longest. And they know that. And the Chargers don't blitz Derek either. I mean, that's what I'm saying. A lot of these teams that are familiar with Derek, they know how to play him and they know how to stop him.
Because you can get rid of the ball, because there's an extra guy. There's going to be somebody probably somewhat open. He's good enough, capable enough to be like, hey, let me get rid of this damn thing. I got Keelan Doss wide open over the middle, and or I don't know. Last year, the Jordy Nelson cadaver over the middle, like whatever, whatever that scenario was, you leave a guy open for him, he's going to find him. You make him hold the ball for 4 seconds, then most of the time it's not good. You know what I mean? He's not that type of guy. I see what you're saying.
Exactly. Exactly. Man. But that's why I laugh about, like, I see a lot of fans, like a lot of people on Twitter, and they make comments about, like, how I just know they would get picked apart by Derek and couldn't be confused and not figure out why. I thought Derek doesn't handle pressure. Like, he doesn't handle pressure from 4-man fronts really good. You guys, you gotta get in particular with it. You gotta get particular with these things, because
and most quarterbacks don't. Like 4-man pressure. Like 4-man pressure is really good when you get 4-man. Like Tom Brady does not handle 4-man pressure very well. Like, it's like, even prime Tom Brady, like New York Giants, like, just, it's one of those things. Like, yes, I agree with what you're saying. And so that's the division. So you think the Raiders got a chance to get, there's an expanded playoff format this year, which a lot of people I don't see a lot of people talking about. You think they got a chance? You think they got a chance to sneak in, even finishing second, even if they don't catch the Chiefs?
To be at this point, I really feel like they better sneak in. That's kind of my mindset.
Year 3 of Gruden, you got to.
Yes. Year 3 of Gruden. There's really no. People say no excuses for Carr. I don't have any excuses for Gruden.
Straight up.
You picked you. That's your. You picked him. You didn't give him any competition. No. People can say Mariota was competition, but I could have told you that.
You did. Yeah, you did.
I've been the biggest guy that he's not competition for Derek Carr.
Take your victory lap. It's victory lap season. Take your victory lap.
I was trying to tell people that it just was not going to be a thing. So that's his quarterback. He's picked the quarterback 3 years in a row. Whatever. If that quarterback doesn't work out, I feel like that's kind of on the personnel team more than it's on Derek at this point. So because Derek has to perform. He needs to be put in that. He needs help, bro. He's a damn tier 3 quarterback. He needs to have some help, and he needs some guys around him. He needs a good line. He needs those things, and they took the time, instead of just getting a quarterback who might not need all those things, right? Mm-hmm. They decided to give him those things.
Right.
So at this point, that's on John to me. If you want to build or back around Derek for the second time, which is crazy. How many quarterbacks get built around twice, right?
No. Yeah, not today. No. Yeah.
Not today. Like a total rebuild. Like you totally deconstruct the team. Right, because Gruden could have went in there and played with Crabtree. He could have went in there and played with Coop, and did the same team and did a whole season with that same team and seen what they would have did. They probably would have went like 8-8, 9-7. Probably.
I think so too.
That same with Khalil Mack, Cooper, Bruce Irvin, all those guys feeling like the team could actually win instead of them trading Mack and everybody like, fuck this, taking it home. They could have went like 9-7 or something, right? and been a little probably still mediocre. I mean, because the team wasn't that great, but they didn't have to like rip the team apart and then decide to build back around him. Like if you think about it, in 2018, they got a tackle, right? A really big tackle. Because Derek Carr needs a line. They got him at Antonio Brown and Tyrell Williams, even though Tyrell Williams is not looking very good right now, but they got Tyrell to complement Antonio Brown. They like Derek, so I don't. That's why I don't put the blame on Derek. I mean, he needs to play better. Like I don't want to say that, but John keeps picking him, so we got to start looking at the guy who keeps making the decision to put him out there. At this point, I mean, he could have got rid of him in 2018. I don't care. Like, what was it? I mean, especially last year too. The dead money was like $2 million or something like that. Yeah, you could have cut him. Like,
Demarius Randall got cut for 1.5 guaranteed.
Cut the guy if you don't like him.
That don't matter.
Yeah, none of that mattered. And I'm sure they could have traded Derek Carr for something.
Oh, sure.
I mean, at any point in time, they could have got him for something. Like the Dolphins probably would have took him for like a third. It took Josh Rosen a couple years for a second. I'm sure they would have took him for like a second or a third a year ago. They probably would have took. I mean, the Jags probably would have took Derek Carr for a good.
I think so too.
Round pick or something like that. So if they're gonna be like Derek Carr is a first round grade, if we're gonna trade him and then all this other shit, I mean that's on the front office. So at this point, like I'm looking at John, like you better win, bro. You better find ways to win.
Coaches find ways, man, especially when you make that much money for that long. This is a live reaction. I have Marcus Johnson here at the Mark John NFL. We are going to react to the Raiders' final roster. I mean, they took their sweet ass time with it. So let's take a look. So the Raiders announced their transaction. I'm going to put it up here. You could see that, right?
Yeah, I can see it.
Cool. All right. So it waived the following players. So let's see who did not make the team. Marcel Aitman's gone, which not a huge shock, but that's one.
Practice squad.
Yeah, I think so too. I think they'll want to keep him around. He's not like completely useless. So I honestly never knew who Nick Bowers was. He's waived. Lester Cotton's gone. So I hope they can keep him around too. I think they seem to have liked him a little bit enough to keep him on practice squad last year.
Yeah.
Sorry
to stop you, bro. But I mean, all the guys that are waived, they probably have a chance. They're guys that want to get on the practice squad, I would guess.
And there's 16 slots, isn't it a lot? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think that's probably, that's most of them. Yeah. So then the guys that they released, right? Theo Riddick did not make the team. There was definitely people talking about Theo Riddick taking Jalen Richard's spot, which I never saw. I didn't make. I think they really like a Jalen Richard. I don't understand where all of a sudden people start like,
they gave a running back $3 million guaranteed. They better not cut him.
And like no disrespect to Theo Riddick, he was a great Notre Dame running back that I rather enjoyed when he was in school, and he's actually had an okay career in the NFL. Like he's not. I would have been fine with him had he made the team, had we not had Jalen Richard. But they actually released Sam Young.
I know, which is crazy.
So that is interesting to me.
That is the most. That's the weirdest. I mean, the Bowden trade was crazy.
Yeah, nobody saw that. Yeah, that is.
But are they seriously gonna go with Brandon Parker as the swing tackle? Are they really gonna do that? They're not gonna do that, right?
I guess one third-round pick actually does get a chance. Yeah, yeah.
They're not going to do that, right? Okay, all right. I mean,
David Sharp. I mean, I'm not mad that they traded David Sharp. That's not super consequential to me. But now I'm like, all right, I didn't think David Sharp was that bad, honestly. Like
David Sharp is better than Brandon Parker
easily, and he's blind in one eye. Like it's just like this. It's crazy, isn't it? I think that's right. Isn't that David Sharp? He was blind in one eye. Like, damn, that's nuts. So yeah, and they put Eric Kush on injured reserve. I kind of thought maybe there was a chance with him, but not. That doesn't make sense. Dayton Jones did not make the team. That was interesting too. Chris Smith, they brought him in just last week. And Kyle Emanuel brought out of retirement. That didn't work. I think that was in case they couldn't get McMillan, right? Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So one name that I find interesting, and I didn't think he was going to make it, is Rico Gafford made the team.
Yeah, I thought that was super interesting that Rico Gafford made the team. And a lot of fans like Rico Gafford, but I just don't know what he really does that much when he plays. He's just a really, 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 really fast guy. Because I mean, nobody's really like said like, oh, he's a great route runner or he's going to be an effective receiver. He's just really, really, really fast. And you just to think, I mean, the Raiders, if he could actually do something, and the Raiders had no speed last year and they didn't play him.
Yeah.
So I was, I know a lot of fans like him. So, but I mean, just tamper your expectations on him. He probably just he probably come run some quick routes sometimes, but I mean,
and maybe
he's not Henry Ruggs.
He's not, and that's what people are gonna say. They're gonna be like, that's because to me, would you say Aguilar is the backup, or is he backup slot? But they said he's gonna play all three positions. Would you say like if Ruggs is down, who's playing that spot?
Not his spot. Aguilar. It'll be Aguilar or Zay Jones.
Okay, so I could see
they probably go back and forth between them. So I'm saying I don't know who is ahead of who in camp, because I think Nelson Aguilar and Zay Jones and Henry Ruggs all play the same position. Even though Aguilar would play slot, so if like Renfrow went down, he could play that.
Yeah, that definitely.
Mm-hmm. But I think that it would be Zay Jones or Aguilar if Ruggs went down.
Yeah. So how many wide receivers is that they're keeping, right?
6.
So that's 6, right? And then Tyrell's IR, so that probably I mean if Tyrell isn't on IR, I don't think Rico's he's sent packing. But so yeah, it's 6 wide receivers. I believe 4 tight ends.
4 tight ends.
4 tight ends.
4 tight ends.
3 running backs for now. I guess that's
3 running backs.
I guess that's what they're doing. And then the tackle, the Sam Young one is interesting to me, man, because I really thought like they liked him. It seemed like they did in camp. So that's interesting what they're going to do and even just not having 2 swing tackles seems weird to me.
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know what their plan is with the tackles. Hopefully they bring Sam Young back. They could do that. He's just, because sometimes they cut veterans and then bring them back when they don't. So they don't have to pay them the guaranteed money, which I think is funny. It's kind of messed up.
God damn.
Together, anyways.
It's a cold league, man.
So we want you on the team.
Yeah.
We still want to pay you for sure. So we're going to cut you and then bring you back.
Sam, we love you. John and I, we just love you, Sam. Love you for all the years. Watched you at Notre Dame. Here's the thing. That G word guaranteed, I just don't. Yeah, I don't know.
It's so messed up. So they might bring him back. So, which would be smart. I hope they bring him back. Because he's a better swing tackle than Brandon Parker. I don't know.
That's crazy.
Like, what do they see? I don't know what they see in him.
Maybe
he got better in camp. I don't know. Who knows?
I remember when they were tried to say he got better last year when he hung out with Gabe Jackson and started eating.
Yeah.
They were like, he ate a lot with Gabe Jackson. I was like, was he eating? Did he teach technique at all or something? I remember that one last year. So I'm just like, I haven't really heard him talk about Brandon Parker that much. And look, Gruden's press conferences are very cryptic now. He doesn't really say a whole lot. And I get it this year, especially with the UDFAs. You don't want guys poaching them. I hope they could bring Javen White back. I don't think, even as much as we love Javen White, or I do at least, like the prospect of him, I don't see a lot of teams putting him on the 53-man if they didn't get even a preseason game to look.
Yeah, they don't have any tape.
Yeah,
so they would have to go off college tape.
And he didn't even play linebacker, right? In college, wasn't he like a safety more so?
He's hybrid.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, exactly.
Like Tanner Muse, basically.
Yeah, and by all accounts, it sounds like he was actually picking things up a little bit better than Tanner Muse. I mean, we don't know. We don't know. We don't, we only saw a little bit. I think I saw like him break up one deep ball, like on a drill once. That was all I saw of him on that. So yeah, I mean, anything else on this roster like that surprises you or that just, worries you, I suppose?
I mean, besides the tackle, tackle is the most surprising thing. I am a little surprised they went with Rico Gafford and didn't keep another running back. I just think that's interesting because I just don't see what they're going to do with Rico. I was talking about this the other day. Is Waller is going to be like the main guy in this offense. So we got 4 tight ends, right? So why do we have 4 tight ends? Because Waller is going to play more wide receiver than he's going to play tight end. Even though he could block and he's getting better at it, he's going to do that more, right? So that's kind of why they have 4 tight ends. That's what I'm saying. I don't know if Rico Gafford's going to stay on the team the whole time. Because, because it's like that. I just don't see what they're going to use him. And if he does stay, he probably won't be active every week either. So It was good for him that he made the team. I just don't see exactly how they're going to use him though for him to be effective, because they already got the speed guy with Ruggs. They already got. They got more speed with Aguilar too, so they have a lot more speed on this offense. So I don't see how that's going to work. I think it's interesting that there wasn't that many undrafted guys that made the team though, which I think is very interesting.
Yeah.
Because usually the Raiders don't have the talent to kind of not have that happen anyways, regardless if it was with preseason or not. Jalen Richard basically made the team from rookie tryouts.
Yeah, that's crazy.
He didn't even play preseason that year before. You remember that? He didn't even play preseason that year, and he made the team. He was hurt all camp. Dude made the team from rookie tryouts.
Busted a crazy run in the Superdome, and we all loved him. That was all it took.
Right? So it's not even really about training camp, because some other undrafted guys have made teams around the league, right?
It's interesting.
It is kind of interesting that the Raiders really don't have any that made the team, and I think that's kind of a good thing when you think about it. So there's a little bit more depth. And even though I think they should add another running back, I really think they should. I just saw Devontae Freeman's still out there. They could get him for cheap or something like that. And he's a zone guy, so it's the same system.
Yeah,
so
you can keep
him. I don't know. Devontae Freeman's way better than Devin Booker. That's all I got to say about that. I don't know. Yeah,
he just got hurt a lot. That was his problem. Freeman, but then you limit his touches. You hope you don't really use him all that much. It's weird. Devontae Booker must have just blown the doors off in camp. Just really.
He's got talent though, bro. He's
he does. Pick. He does. Yeah.
Okay. I was really high on him when he was coming out. I thought he was gonna be awesome. So
me too, dude. When the Broncos drafted him, I was like, "Shit, they got a good one, man!" Because I liked him, and he was he's actually from the Valley out here. He's not from the Bay Area. I think he's from Stockton, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. But yeah, I was like, "Damn, man!" He grew up a Raider fan. I thought that was cool, and so it still is cool. Now he's a Raider, but nonetheless. So that's Raiders 53-man roster. They, obviously we don't have depth charts and stuff like that, but one more thing, just. Carolina, week 1. Carolina is like a completely new team from the top to the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think we can expect? Is this going to be a terrible team?
I don't think they're going to be very good. I don't think they're going to be a good team on offense or defense. I think the Raiders should beat them pretty easily. Should is the main thing based on talent level. Based on talent level from team to team. If we put the Raiders and the Panthers next to each other on paper, we're going to be like, okay, the Raiders should win this game, right? And they should probably win the game pretty easily, especially with, this is a brand new offense, and they got a defensive coordinator from college too, who's never been a defensive coordinator in the NFL. They got a college offense coordinator who was in the NFL, but he was never a coordinator in the NFL. It's different, right? And he was still calling a college game no matter what, right? So they got the offensive coordinators themselves have to learn the game.
Yeah.
They have to learn NFL football themselves, calling an NFL game. So there's so much advantage to the Raiders in that game. I really feel like the Raiders should go in there and at least win by 10 points or more.
Yeah, you would hope. You would hope. That hasn't happened in a while. I think it's been 10, but it's like, man, they haven't blown the doors off a team in a while.
Gruden might make the game a 7-point game just because he's gonna try to.
He wants. It's almost like he's betting the other side of the spread sometime. Come on, what do you got? Panthers +7? Geez. And I see what you're saying, and like you said, Kyle, I think that Matt Rule, I think he's going to end up being a decent coach. I do think so. And I think Joe Brady, why wouldn't you bring a guy like that? College offenses are translating more and more to the NFL. But they had a really cool draft. They drafted solely defense, it seemed like.
Yeah.
Because they got Jeremy Chin, right? Am I not mistaken?
They got Chin. They got
D-lineman.
Defensive ends.
The guy with the hyphenated name, right? What's his name? Didn't they get Gross-Matos? Gross-Matos. Yeah, that dude's a beast.
Yes.
So they're set up. I just, week 1's a good time to play them, I think. So these guys don't get going right away.
And that's what I'm saying. And the Raiders shouldn't have those problems.
No.
And we should see more of an expanded offense. So they should beat the Panthers. but who knows, man? I don't know. I don't know. I don't think the Panthers are even a really good team on paper at all for the Raiders to be worried about. I think, but the way that they beat them should tell us a lot.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, and like, what do you think of that wide receiver core too? It's like it's kind of cool. Like, I don't know, like, your wide receiver core is like kind of fun to me because I like Curtis Samuel and I like DJ Moore. It didn't seem like they got a lot out of him, but maybe that's Kyle Allen. I don't know, and Ron Rivera has never been accused of being a creative mind. So, what do you think of that receiving core? And they had Robbie Anderson. So, like,
yeah. I mean, the receiving core is cool. I mean, DJ Moore is a good player. He's a good wide receiver. I mean, Robbie Anderson, he's a good wide receiver too. Curtis Samuels, he has talent. He's more a little bit of a gadget guy right now. He's not really a pure wide receiver. He struggles to separate still a little bit. But since he struggles to separate, and I mean, so does DJ Moore a little bit. DJ Moore struggles to separate a little bit too. So they got talent, but there's nothing to be like scared about this. That's what I'm saying. Like, based on talent level, equal out who's the better team on paper, the Raiders should win that game pretty easily. But
that's why they play the game. And like, Gruden has come out, even in 2018 when they lost to the Rams, they came out banging right away. Like, it was like, damn, like, what? Like, so why can't we expect that again, at least in the first half? You know what I mean? Is come out and set the tone. And I think it's a good week one opponent to have, is a team that has no continuity and you have a lot of continuity on offense.
Exactly.
So yeah, it's good. Well, hey man, thanks for rejoining me. We had to wait for the Raiders schedule, or the Raiders roster to come out. Yeah, we thought it had it timed up perfectly, but and we did, but it was just the Raiders in typical Raider fashion. I was actually talking to my dad about it, and he was like, "Yeah, Al Davis." It was like a total Al Davis move to be like 1:30. Nah. Yeah, we're gonna go like maybe in a different time zone. We'll go by 1:30. So Gruden is proving to be more and more Gruden and Mayock. I think they're doing the more Al Davis type approach of just keeping everybody on their toes and not telling anyone anything, doing some surprise shit, like trading your third round pick the day of. Right, so that's the AFC West. Broke it down. Marcus Johnson here from the Raiders Wire, expanding the box score, and tape don't lie.
Tape Don't Lie podcast.
3 episodes in. It's been great. It's been great. I've seen every episode. You guys, this week, like I said, when you guys were breaking down the what I forget what it was called, but like where it's like a blitz, but it's still just 4 men. It's not a blitz.
Yeah, the creepers.
Yeah, that was like so crazy because I was watching that first Bronco game and I'm like, damn, Gunther's like blitzing the hell out of them, and they're not. You know what I mean? They're just like Farrell's dropping back and all that kind of stuff. So. That's crazy. Yeah. So, like I said, I didn't know any of that kind of stuff, and I'm just, again, I don't have a football background or anything like that. I just talk about my team. So, a lot of other people are like me. So, check out Tape Don't Lie. It is on the YouTube. I'll put the link to subscribe to your guys' YouTube channel in the episode notes. So check it out there if you guys don't see it already. But you should be following at the Mark John NFL. Anyways, and I will put that on the bottom of the screen too as well. So yeah, man, thanks for coming by.